but they run. And there he is, first down, Baltimore. Play clock at 1. Jackson in the pocket, over the middle. And boy, when he goes, those guys have got to be able to hold the point in the middle. A first down. Mahomes over the long ball. What a catch! Good cost to your season. Sometimes he's able to fake as if. Then they go to Kelsey. Got blockers out there. Trying to find an opening and a pylon. Pressure comes. Sanchez delivers it. Kittle. He's got a first down. George Kittle brings the tackle. Into Packers territory. Shoulder down and across the 40. They get it off. McCaffrey, right side, big seam. Cut. 30. McCaffrey. Touchdown, San Francisco. 30 has time. Can't find anyone. Sanchez floats with high and it's caught. Oh, what a big play into one. McCaffrey. McCaffrey scores. 49ers in front. Play out.
Told you we always been ready. I don't need people that's petty, that weigh on me heavy while I'm being steady. I need a record with Felly. We get it bouncing like Betty's. I feel like I'm Nelly. Don't bring the beef like a deli. It's leave on that levy. No sleeping on me like I'm Freddy. Chris Breeze, how I do. Hit him with the moves. Left hand step back, ballin' like I'm Coos. All faith, God's plan. You just gotta choose. God slaps, nothing left to prove. Y'all gotta leave me alone. Lately I've been in my zone. Told them no cap like a fitted, but lately the flows have been straight off the dome. I feel like I'm MVP, like my name Patty Mahomes. If it ain't about money, don't hit up my phone, cause lately I've been in my zone.
Hello, welcome to the Cowboys Show, hosted by Ben Carey and Nick Gronerad, combining expert human opinions with cutting-edge simulation models to help you arrive at the best picks each week. Inside Edge Community. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's stream. It's NFL Sunday. We have the Divisional Finals, and I'm pumped for today's games. Joining me to run it back is Steffi Smalls. How are we doing this morning?
Good. That intro got me pumped. Like, I am so excited for today now. I literally cannot wait.
I know. I'm ready to go play, and then I'd get hit one time, and I'd probably be like, maybe I should just stay on the couch. So before we hop on into today's games, what were your just big takeaways, if anything, from last week? Were you kind of expecting these matchups, or were there any surprises?
Yeah, I don't think this is super surprising. I think even going into the season, other than the Lions, I think, you look at San Francisco, the Chiefs, and Baltimore, a lot of people have futures tickets on them, right? Like, I think that was something that people expected. So I wasn't super shocked. I think that the Tampa Lions game everything kind of went as expected, honestly. I think today is when we'll see I'm hoping for chaos today, to be completely honest.
Well, if we do have some chaos, I do hope it is on the NFC side. A lot of you may know, and maybe I talked about it last stream, but I have a decent sized payout for the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. So I'm okay. I haven't hedged yet, but if the Niners do make it, and it's the Niners Ravens, I might look at opportunities to hedge. But I'm playing. I'm playing it a little risky, I guess, and not going to cut in any profits that could bite me in the butt here because it is Mahomes, but we'll see. So what we're going to do today is we're going to run through each game, and then we're actually going to do 2 SGPs. I didn't even tell Steffi, but I know she's not going to say no to that. So we're going to do one for each game. Yeah, because it makes sense. I mean, why not have two versus
Yeah,
combined
of
one big
course.
one
Yeah,
for each game?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
So let's just hop on into the first game. We only have about an hour, so of course it is the Chiefs and the Ravens. Um, the Ravens at home. This line has
Mhm.
jumped to 4.5, and this is a line I've been, watching all week. I think a lot of us have been, and it's moved significantly because it has moved from basically 3.5 up to 4.5, and even 5 at a pretty sharp book in Vegas, Circus Sports. Uh, move from 4.5 to 5 isn't, I guess, the most significant thing, but when you do talk about like the volume of bets in these games, I do put a little more weight on even like a 4.5 to 5 move
Yeah.
because there's just so much money coming in on these two games. I would love to see the figures. I mean, just every second, can you just imagine the money just being bet on DraftKings?
No,
Like,
I can't.
I
Especially
would
when
love to
there's
see like a ticker. That would be so fun
yeah,
just to see the money
and you
flying
only have
in.
2 like, there's only 2 games, so people are starting to get, like, withdrawals. You're not having a full slate like you're used to, so people are just throwing money,
Yeah.
like crazy.
Steffi, they're having withdrawals, maybe not enough withdrawals.
Yeah,
If
right?
you're
Yeah, fair.
that was a bad dad joke.
Fair, fair.
Yeah.
That's a good
Um,
dad joke. Look at you.
thank you, thank you. You know what they say, if you have to like explain the joke, it's probably not a good joke, but anyways,
Yeah, yeah,
I so I'm trying to like differentiate myself from like my ticket I have on the Ravens and then like my handicap in this game. And
yeah,
I think at least I can make a pretty good case for the Ravens, like all things aside, with my uh, futures ticket. And my thinking here is that we haven't really seen anything the last few weeks that would really make us feel like they can't win this game at home. The only thing that I kind of point back to, and this isn't even this year, this goes back to Lamar in the playoffs in the past when he has had some hiccups. The biggest thing with his struggles were defenses were kind of keeping him in the pocket and
yeah.
not just blitzing him and letting him run, making him throw. And then he just got a little bit indecisive at times where maybe there were times he should throw and didn't. But then we look back at last game and there were like 3 or 4 times where I was watching and I said, 2 years ago, Lamar just runs that and maybe he
Yeah.
gets sacked or gets chased down like 3-4 yards. And then he ended up making, I think one of them was the Flowers first down.
Mhm.
One was the likely. And if he can do that in this game, I honestly don't think the Chiefs can keep this close. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think Lamar is playing with he's always been a very confident quarterback, but he's definitely playing with more confidence, I think, than we've seen him in the past. Like the Chiefs, I think this matchup just alone, like the Ravens, it's hard to make a case for the Chiefs winning this. The only case that you have is Patrick Mahomes, which is
Hmm.
a big case though. So it's like, can Mahomes cover this number? And then I think that Vegas wants you to bet on the Chiefs too.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
kind of written in the stars that we're going to see Lamar in the Super Bowl.
I hope so. Um, Someone made a good point the other day. I forget who it was, and they basically said like if this was a regular season game, I think the line would have opened up closer to 4.5
Yeah.
and maybe even pushed to like 6. But then it's the whole narrative with Mahomes, right? And I think
Mhm.
there is something to that because
Yeah.
when we think about like some of the generational quarterbacks, like I think there's a handful that we literally just say like in the playoffs, like you can't just discredit regardless of
Mhm.
like what's going on. I think Mahomes is up there. And then of course, like, Brady,
Yeah.
um, Peyton Manning, I know could like some people would be like, yeah, check his records. But
Yeah.
still, I think you put him up. And even like this sounds crazy, you'll like this, but Eli, like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Well,
look at his
Eli
numbers,
was I tweeted out, people got really mad about this. Everyone hates this take, but like I think that playoff, like I don't think that win should be a QB stat, but I think that playoff win should be. So it's very like I think that if you're able to get the job done, like because what's the difference between, right now, the Giants and the Cowboys? We're both on the couch. Like there's no difference between those two
yeah.
teams right now. So if you're able to elevate in the playoffs, that's what matters. Like it actually doesn't really matter as much what you do in the regular season.
No, I mean the whole idea is like, hey, get a first round bye, right?
Yeah.
And if you can get that, then it's huge. You get
Yeah.
you got to win 2 games, you're in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Um, Great point. And I mean, look, Eli, it wasn't a fluke because he did it in
Yeah.
another
And of
another
course, like
season.
I'm a biased Giants fan, but that's also why like the Lions you could talk about, and we'll get to that game too, but you could talk about the disadvantages that they have going up against this team. But like, I watched the Giants win Super Bowls they shouldn't have won. So anything can happen in the postseason.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at the Broncos beat the Panthers,
Yeah.
Super Bowl 50. I think they were 7-point dogs. It's it's such a interesting league because you have such limited sample. Like, this isn't college basketball or NBA where you have 80 college 30, 40 games. So you got to be careful. You don't want to just blow your bankroll. Like, I don't want people to like put 5 units on the Ravens as much
Yeah.
as
And I mean,
like
if you care, Trent did say he's nuking the Chiefs. So you should
Okay, good. I had a
feel
feeling.
some confidence in that.
I had a feeling. Good.
Yeah.
I wonder if someone bribed him and paid him to bet the Chiefs.
Maybe.
Like, I apparently that was real. I can't believe that's a
People are
thing.
hilarious.
It's like Cameo, but it's like not Cameo. It's
Yeah.
like it could be a new app. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
So are you leaning with the Ravens with the points?
So I said on my show on Friday, I think a happy medium for me, like I took in my quad Ds. I did take Kansas City to cover, but I think that the Ravens win this game. Like, I think that's a happy medium for me because I think that Mahomes, like, you just like can't count him out. He's one of those guys. We just talked about it. But I think that the Ravens win this game.
Yeah, I think the Ravens get it done. I kind of feel like the Ravens are going to get up by double digits in the low teens, maybe, and then it could be kind of a backdoor spot.
I feel like a backdoor cover from the Chiefs, like that. This gives very backdoor cover vibes.
I will say though, if the Chiefs score first, I'm not feeling good at all. Like, if they're playing from a deficit, but if Lamar gets up, the defense can kind of put pressure on Mahomes. Mahomes is going to have one of his best games all year to beat this Ravens defense. I think this Ravens defense hasn't been talked enough about.
No.
Like, when we talk about the Ravens, we just talk about Lamar, but deservingly so. But this defense, I think over the last like 5-6 weeks, has been one of the best.
They're unbelievable. And I think too, like, the Chiefs offense is quite simple to like there's not a lot of like star power there. Yes, obviously Kelsey, I understand that, but it's Rice. And then like after that, they're going to have to get creative there. Watson will probably be involved today, I bet. Back and forth between if I like MVS, if I don't like MVS. But I think that, Hamilton will probably be all over Rice. I know we're going to get into the props. Like, I love Rice's under 6.5 receptions. He's only gone over that like a couple times, even this year in general. It's a really, really high number for him.
It's 6.5 receptions.
6.5 is a very high number for him. That's far too high.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
that's really interesting. And I think it kind of speaks to the game script. Let's just hop on into the props.
Yeah.
And that way we can get to the next game. With receiving props, I'm gonna actually pull up let me see if I can get it up. I'm gonna pull up DraftKings here, and then we can build an SGP too. But yeah, continue to talk about either that prop or another one.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about that one. It was in my like quad Ds. That's my dud bet of the week.
Nice.
I've actually been doing a good job with those. So maybe I am a little bit on a hot streak, so it might be time to fade me. But he's only gone over it twice in the last 5 games that he played, and he only went over 4 times this season. And I think you look at it, like, Hamilton's going to lock him up, I think that we get, like, if anything, it's more like a Kelsey legacy type game. And then I think that Mahomes kind of spreads the ball out like he did. We saw him do all season. So I really like Rashee Rice to go under that 6.5 receptions mark. That's a lot for him, to be honest.
So you mentioned Hamilton. It is a lot. So you think Hamilton's going to be on him? Do you think he gets on Kelsey at all, or you think he's just going to be
maybe? Yeah, I think he'll probably be like all
Rice
over
for the most part.
But I think like that's why like I'm kind of in on the Justin Watson and kind of these other guys to go over their very, very low numbers, because I think that it's just going to be spreading the ball out. Did I lose you? Or did you lose me? Oh,
yeah, I think that's a good point. I was thinking about that, and then I think I'm back. I was thinking about an under for Kelsey, but I don't think I can get it.
It's weird that line, like FanDuel has that, like it did
part
last
of me
week.
think.
It's weird. Are you losing me or am I
Yeah,
losing you?
I don't know. I'm on the fence with that one. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Chat, you got me?
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
Hold on, let's do this. It could be it might just be the is it better now?
Yeah.
Hold on. I added you back in.
Okay. Am I better now?
Did it work?
Is it better now? Should I jump back in?
Okay, I just restarted it.
Okay. Am I better now?
Yeah, you sound good.
Cool. Perfect. I jumped out and jumped back in. Cool. Okay.
I don't know what happened. My internet also has been cutting out, which is just so annoying. But
Yeah.
hopefully we're good now.
Cool.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Mark Andrews because
Yeah.
I surprisingly don't think I don't think people are going to be on him as much as they should, just because he's been injured, but I think he could make a big impact, and he's only at 33.5 yards, but it is kind of risky since he has been out.
Yeah, absolutely. I took his anytime touchdown when it was still at that plus 275 number. I'm sure that has moved. I actually haven't even looked at it, but I think he is an impact player, and he's a guy, you haven't seen that much of him because he's been hurt. So again, I think when you get to the playoffs and live, it's something that I think people forget is like you're using. I think when you get to when we talk about the Lions games, like Gibbs is going to be heavily involved because he's one of their best explosive weapons. So I think that Andrews is one of those guys for them. So that line is set very low.
Yeah, and it kind of comes down to do they actually try to put him in a game plan as much as I think they will, or is he going to be a little bit of a decoy? Could be. I mean,
Yeah.
he hasn't played, but it's really hard to say what they're going to do with him.
And it's interesting too, his receptions line is set at 3.5, which I guess I'm a little bit surprised. It's if he were to go over that, he's going over the 32.5 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I'm like, I mean, it seems low. I think we're gonna watch the game and we could just be like, wow, that was the lowest number we're gonna get on a guy like Andrews. But it also could be a situation where he gets 2 catches and we're like, why did we play that over? So
right.
Let's talk about the rushing props real quick, and then we can
Okay.
throw something together for this game.
Yeah.
The Ravens have actually been using Justice Hill a decent amount, which it makes sense
No,
because
I
he's
love
looked good. He's kind of a
him.
change of pace, just with a
Mhm.
little more speed. Yeah. What are your thoughts on his over today?
Yeah, I took it earlier in the week it was at 31.5. I think it's creeped up to 32, 33.5 some spots. I hate how public he's starting to get, but I think it's a fair split where it's you're either on Gus or you're on Justice Hill. I actually think I have no problem taking the over for either of those guys. I think that they're going to run the shit out of the ball. I think that's how you beat this team. And no one runs the ball more than the Baltimore Ravens, almost 60% of the time they're running the ball. So I like Justice Hill to go over his receiving yards. I like him to go over his rush attempts. I like him to go over his rushing yards.
Yeah, I think that's a good candidate that we should throw into this same game parlay. I'm going to do that right now, actually, because I think Hill. It just depends. Do we
I'm
want to
here
do
for it.
receiving or rushing for him?
What's his receiving up to? Let's see. Because it
is
did
at
creep
14,
up.
14 and a half
Yeah.
at minus 125. But I think that's okay.
No, it's not bad at all. He's averaging the last month 33 receiving yards a game. And the thing is too, everyone's all over Gus, and I like it. Like his receiving yards, it's like 3.5 or something, but Hill runs nearly 3 times the amount of pass routes than Edwards does. Like they just don't use him that way. So I like it. I mean, the last 7 games, I think, including the playoffs, he's gone over this number. So I'm here for his receiving yards. I like his rushing too, though. Like that seems like such a conservative number for this guy.
It does seem pretty conservative. His rushing is at 32.5.
Yeah, I like that.
I was trying to see rushing plus receiving. I always forget where they put that at. Let's
My
see.
mom always calls me at the worst times.
You're like, hey, Mom, I'm talking about football. I love you.
Somehow she manages. It's so funny. Like somehow she manages to call always at exactly the worst time. It's actually impressive. I don't know. Like she needs to. Yeah. Anyways,
she needs the bets. That's what she needs.
Yeah, she probably does. They have it at 50.5. I actually like that.
Okay.
I didn't even look at that.
Where is that on here? I can't find it. It's like my first day betting, Steffi.
So yeah, I see. So the 50.5 is at MGM and Caesars, but FanDuel has it at 51.5. So let's see. Unless they pulled it down, because FanDuel's weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like.
So on DraftKings, do you know where it's listed? I can't find it.
Let's see if I can find it here quick.
If not, we'll just do one or the other.
Yeah. Which one do you prefer better? Do you like rushing or receiving better?
I think I like rushing a tad more.
Okay. I think
just
I do
because
too.
of the game script.
Yeah.
In my eyes, but you have to remember, like I'm a little more on like the Ravens are going to be upside. So
yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think they have them up. Why?
Let's do rushing.
Yeah, let's do rushing. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Okay, so we have that. What about the Chiefs? I mean, we talked about the under for Rice. Is there any one of these like receivers that we think will get some volume just because they're going to be out there?
Right. I do like Justin Watson. Like I know he had that drop last week, or they didn't connect whatever occurred there, but I just think they're going to try to get creative. And also, like, he kind of is this, like, all reliable for Mahomes. Like, even when he's not really that, like, he's good for, like, 2 catches and, like, whatever, X amount of yards. So
2 catches, we could do over 1.5 at plus 100. I think that's not the worst look. I mean,
I don't hate that. Like, he's even, like, I mean, he's gone over his, what's his receiving? I bet it's moved up. It was 13.5. I bet it's it's probably up to, like, 17, 18. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
I can't even. Where is it? I see his alt line, but maybe they took it.
I see 16.5. Yeah, 16.5. It's moved to, but I still don't even really hate that either.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Okay.
That was one that I actually was thinking about earlier today. Part of my thinking too is I think Hardman fumbling 2 times in the red zone.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if he sees the same volume as he did last game. I just don't see it. I think that he could end up having like maybe 1 or 2 targets, but he's not going to get like a prime goal line touch again at this point. Like Andy Reid, he won't give up on guys, but he also is smart enough where he's like, hey, we have to, we have to find different ways to get the ball in the end zone.
Who's kind of sneaky too is Noah Gray.
Yeah, Noah Gray is kind of sneaky
quietly involved, like enough, like not something that's going to get you super excited, but like, I mean, last game he had 3 receptions for 16 yards. So he's not someone that I think I would go to like yards on unless it's at like 9.5. He's a good longest reception guy, but like when he is involved, he goes over like at least 10 yards.
Mm-hmm. If we end up doing one of those overs, I think we should do either or with Watson or Gray, and I'm not opposed to either.
Which do you think you prefer?
Chat, what do you guys think? Watson or Gray? 2 catches. Who's going to have 2 catches today?
Or is anyone on Valdez-Scantling?
He's another guy.
Have no money on him, but I feel like I should. Yeah, if the chat
he had a good game last game.
Yeah.
I want to see if it's basically the
Watson. Someone said
230.
I think I like Watson too.
It is all
And I
hands on
think,
deck here.
yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think they're gonna have to like to get this done, they're just gonna have to use every single thing in their arsenal.
Watson. This guy. I love when people say, "Yeah, I like Gray, so it's
Yeah,
Watson."
it's very
Okay, so we're gonna take Watson. Well, thank you for liking Gray. So that brings us at plus 230. I'm
Okay.
down to do 1 or 2 more max because we can do whatever.
Okay.
I think the lines we can do some more fun stuff just because
Oh, yeah.
there's some more yeah. Um
I don't mind a Kelsey touchdown, like, I don't hate entirely. I also don't hate this is, like, a little bit degenerate, though. I don't hate Rashad Bateman this game. I also like Likely. Like, I think Likely could still be involved. He could be good for, like, one, like, long catch.
yeah. Let's see here. I'm gonna go to and I think what was slowing down my computer was like the screen share, which I don't
Was
really
it?
understand. So I was hoping to do this on screen, but it is what it is. Ooh, I did find a Justice Hill rushing and receiving.
You did.
Yeah. So
We'll
they put it
link
under
it.
rushing. They put it under rushing props. It's like,
Okay,
okay,
it's all the way
thank
at the
you.
bottom.
Yeah. Let's see what that does if it Let's do
'Cause
that. We'll
yeah,
go with that because we were like 50-50 on which one. So we'll just do the
okay.
over 50.5 for
Like
Hill
it.
and then Watson over
What is
receptions.
hold on. What is let me look.
What about
Clyde?
OBJ?
I mean, he's such a what did he have last week? Doesn't he have
I think he had a
one
goose
catch?
egg.
I thought he had
But
one catch.
here's what I'm thinking with OBJ. We don't play him this game. If they make the Super Bowl,
Next game.
I
That's
bet
kinda how
he'll
I
yeah,
feel.
they'll scheme something up and we'll be like, "Oh," and people look
Okay.
at it, they'll be like, "OBJ hasn't caught the ball in 2 games." And we'll be like, "Yeah, just wait."
Wait, hear me out. What about Clyde Edwards-Helaire over his rushing?
Yeah, so Pacheco's banged up, right?
Yeah.
He's
Last
playing.
game, he had just two carries for 31 yards. The
Let's
game
see what
before
his
that
numbers
with
at.
Miami, 7 for 21. Well, he had a
I don't
long I guess last week he had a
I don't even
long
see
for
his number
28, so
on DraftKings.
let's see.
At least
Oh, they
not
don't
in
have
this
I see it on
SGP.
2 other books, 7.5
Yeah.
week.
Oh, I see. It's that low. I was thinking it would be like 12 for
I
some
think
reason.
Pacheco will be fine. I see someone else saying it. I think Pacheco will be fine though. But I think I would lean his attempts over his yards.
Yeah, except you can't put that in SGP.
I know,
They
it's
always, they
annoying.
always do that shit. It's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Let's see.
Lamar anytime? I don't
I
mind
was
that
actually
either.
thinking about passing yards for Lamar,
Okay.
but I want to see what this does. 213. That jumps it to 460 plus 460. Pacheco. Yeah, I think Pacheco actually. Let's see, 64.5. I think he could probably get that. What about a
I
Mahomes
think
rushing?
I if it's did it creep up too far though, because they have been kind of annoying about it. I think it was
27 and a
26
half.
and a half. What is it? 27?
27 and a half.
I don't hate it.
Let's see what that does. Basically makes it plus 500.
Okay.
I was trying to find an under though. Let's see. We can spend like 5 more minutes max on this.
Yeah, so that we can let's see. I'm trying to think of who else they freaking have on this team. Well,
I'm
what's
gonna see.
like I guess let's think the Ravens receivers.
Yeah.
The problem is Nelson Aguilar and Rashad Bateman are always good for like one long catch. So I always
Mhm.
hate looking at their receiving yards because it could end up just being that long reception and then you get screwed.
Mhm. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna make an executive decision here.
Okay.
I do actually like this rushing yards for Mahomes
Me
because
too.
not just because of him rushing more in the playoffs, which I think is a fair point, but I also think the Ravens are going to be locking down guys at times, and I think he's just going to have to
Yeah.
run on third, even second and short, pick up
Yeah.
yards. So I'm going to go with his over. So that has Watson's over receptions, Hills over rushing, receiving, Mahomes over rushing. I think that could be good. I'm trying to think because if we throw in an under, it's going to really help our odds here. But I also don't want to get too crazy. I think that
I mean, I'm not totally opposed to Mark Andrews under receptions. That or Rashi are like probably the only two.
Yeah, Rice.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Rice under. I'm not going to lie. Let's see here.
I was going to look what. They probably don't even have a line out for it. Yeah, shit. I was hoping Gus Edwards receptions was like 1.5, but it's a half, obviously.
Yeah. Damn. That would have been nice if it was.
I'm like, that's not the line that I want, but I'm definitely down with Mahomes. I think also Patrick in general has just been running more this year because he doesn't have Tyreek was gone and whatever. He just kind of he's been making it happen. He likes to take off way more than I think people realize.
Mm-hmm. He does. And he has wheels. He just doesn't do it as much as, Josh Allen and Lamar, of course. All right, let's do this. So we have Watson receptions over 1.5. We have Justice Hill rushing and receiving over 50.5. Mahomes over rushing 27.5. And then I want to throw in Rashid Rice under 6.5 receptions. I think we got to put that in there.
Okay, cool. I like it.
So that comes out to plus 850. So, well, yeah, let's do that. Of course, sprinkle this, guys. I wouldn't put a unit on it, but hey, I'm not going to stop you.
No. Yeah, I won't stop you, but.
All right. Okay. Maybe someone in chat, if people ask, you can share. But one more time, it is where to go. It is why can't I read it after I place it? Let me click view my bets. It was Watson over 1.5 receptions, and then it was Justice Hill over rushing and receiving. Yep, 50.5. Mahomes over rushing 27.5, and then Rice under 6.5 receptions. Okay, I like it.
Oh, I want to throw this out before we move to the next game. I will butcher his last name. But defensive tackle on the Ravens, Justin how do you say his name? Do you know how I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, but
I pronounced it wrong. I love his over a quarter stack because Tooney's out, and I think that's a way that Baltimore can really eat in this game too. So he should. I think he'll have a good game. I think it's at. Let's see. Right now it's at plus 135. But
sacks, correct?
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now.
I can never say it right.
Let's see here. Tackles and assists. Where are the sacks at?
Just under. They should be ahead of the tackles and assists. Are you on FanDuel or DraftKings? It's on DraftKings. Yeah, it's after rushing props at the top.
Oh, there it is. I was under SGP. For some reason, you can't put sacks into SGP.
So
I don't quite understand. Well, I guess I kind of get it, but whatever. Cool.
I really like
I'll
that.
Put something on that.
Yeah, that's the last one for this game, I think.
Cool. All right, let's talk about the second game here. Lions and the 49ers. This game is a home game for the Niners out in Santa Clara. 7.5, I think, is the spread. I'm pulling it up right now. What are your thoughts here with Purdy and the way he's playing? Can the Niners cover this number?
They can. I think these teams match up outside of, if you take away which I know this is a very big part, but Lions secondary is not fantastic. So that's where they're going to really struggle. But I think other than that, they actually match up better than people realize. Mm-hmm. I think these two teams, I think that if Detroit's going to have to get something going on the ground, which I don't think Vegas agrees that that's even going to happen because the lines on the running backs are very low. So I don't think Vegas thinks that's going to happen. But I think that that's a way you can capitalize here for Detroit. If they can get pressure on Purdy and get him to mess up a little bit, I think that Detroit can stay in this game. It's just a lot of points.
It is a lot of points. Yeah, I mean, if Purdy plays like he did last week, I think Lions cover this number. But if they can, establish a lead, and I think lean on CMC even more so than last game,
Yeah.
and he makes throws on third down like he did in the fourth quarter of that game,
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine. But yeah,
Yeah.
7.5. I mean, we're asking them to cover not just a touchdown and change. Seems like a lot of points to me against a team who's been playing well. And I also think the narrative of Jared Goff on the road and not in a dome has been dispelled a tad. If you look at this season and last, I think he's close to 500. I believe it's like
It's
10
also
games.
like almost 70 degrees there. Like, I think that there is something to it. And like, you can look at it, he's from there. It's kind of like there's a hometown angle. He grew up not too far from there. He is like 0-5 his last 5 games against San Francisco. But again, all trends have to come to an end. He's 2-2 straight up at Levi Stadium. But I think the Goff stuff is a little exhausted, in my opinion. Like, I think people just like to hate on Goff, and I think Goff is a much better quarterback than everyone realizes. I've always felt that. I've been a Goff like truther for quite a bit, or at least apologist, I'll say.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think it's been blown out a little bit out of proportion there. Let's just hop on into it with the SGP stuff too. We can just talk hand in hand with what we like. First things first, just with passing, do we like anything with either Goff or Purdy? Because there is one here that I'm leaning towards. I'm not going to say it first. Do you like any of these yardage marks for the quarterbacks today?
I haven't looked at what Goff is sitting at. I'd be interested if they start playing from behind, what that number looks like. Purdy over is like a little bit too public for me, I think. Like, I think that I was on it. I gave it out on my show. I mean, Detroit has given up like I don't even know, the last 5 games, over 370 yards a game to the opposing quarterback. So again, I think that's how they beat the shit out of this team, is having Purdy passing the ball and getting well over this number. I just am a little bit nervous with how public it is.
Yeah, I think the Purdy stuff, it's really hard because there's been times throughout the season where I bet his under and it was just dead on arrival. Like, he looked really good in this.
Yeah.
This Lions secondary is prone to giving up some big plays, so that does scare me. I was reading Scrunch. He said, "Don't be scared." It does scare me a little bit, but I think the one that I actually like is Goff's over. I don't know if we put it in this SGP here, but headed over to the receiving props, there is a guy that I want to hopefully put in as long as you're on board.
Okay, who is it?
Jameson Williams.
Yep, I'm back on it. I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
It's very painful, but I have to do it. My favorite bet this week was his longest reception over. That creeped up, so I think I was on the right side of that there. I took it at 15.5. But again, like, when he goes over, he goes well over, and sometimes that only takes 2 catches. So
exactly.
I know last week it was like a little bit disappointing. I think I was on some of his alt stuff, but again, playing from behind, have to use your weapons. Who do you use in this game? Like, at the end there, when they're, playing from behind, like going Gibbs, going Williams, taking shots downfield, because Goff can take shots downfield.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like Jameson Williams. Like, 28.5, his longest reception could be that. Like, he could have a 30-yard bomb. So I think that his receiving yards is I'm not going to say safe, because no bet is safe, but
I know what you're saying. It's just I think it's a safer one to get over. I don't think it flies over, but
yeah,
I think it makes sense. What about Debo? It's kind of a similar situation, I feel like, with Mark Andrews. Do you think he's going to be a big factor in this game?
I don't. I feel a little bit stronger that Debo is maybe a little bit more of a decoy than Andrews is.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost asked you this earlier. His rushing yards is actually very interesting to me.
Yeah, 8.5.
That's pretty low.
That's what I was. I'm literally looking at it right now.
I actually didn't see that number until just now, when I just was pulling it up. I did not see that it was at 8.5, because all week they didn't have lines out for him. It's a low number for him.
He could literally hit that in one run.
Yeah.
I think we put that in there.
Okay, let's do it.
8.5. Fuck
I'm
it.
sold.
Okay, so we have Williams and then Debo, that rushing prop. Let's see here. I feel like this is one we could potentially throw in a anytime touchdown, and then it could just be the third leg.
Yeah,
But we have
I
to
like.
agree
I mean,
on something here.
that's fair. I like his. I don't mind Kittle's. Ayuk is very popular this week. I think you can't really go wrong with either of the Detroit running backs either. Laporta is interesting. What are you thinking here?
Laporta is sitting at plus 145.
Okay.
Kittle's at plus 110. What does that do? Guess that only moves it to plus 525. I mean, that's not it's not bad.
It's not horrible.
I think, yeah, Kittle was the guy that I was thinking is going to be a touchdown scorer today.
What's the chat's favorite one? I'm interested, actually.
Yeah. Someone said Gibbs.
I like
they said
Gibbs.
Gibbs McCaffrey receiving touchdown, which is it's a lot going on.
Yeah, I
there.
think like one thing that people are also kind of forgetting about is Detroit has been really good at stopping the run. Like I was tempted. I was going to wait until almost right before the game, but I wouldn't mind taking an under on Christian McCaffrey's rushing yards. I'm not going to lie to anyone.
What's that number at again?
Right. It's at 86.5.
That is pretty high.
It's pretty high. But yeah, I would be down with the Kittle anytime touchdown.
Okay. Kittle. I'm just putting this together.
Are we going to regret the Debo rushing yards?
I mean, if it doesn't hit, yes, we will. Yeah, there's a possibility, but
I could see that. Yeah, I feel like that's actually for him. Like I almost feel safer taking his rushing over receiving, which probably sounds counterintuitive.
Rushing under, receiving over for McCaffrey.
Yeah, I like that. I don't hate that either.
Rushing under.
His combine. I would maybe his rushing and receiving is 126.5. It's pretty high. What's his receptions at? 4.5.
Well, as of now, with these three, we have that Williams receiving over, Debo rushing over, and then Kittle touchdown. That's plus 525. We could put one more in there, but it would have to be something that we really like.
Okay. What else do I like in this game? I do like Gibbs overs. What else? I'm not thinking of something. Who else are you eyeing out? I'm staying away from Amon-Ra. Like I faded him last week and it worked for me. I'm gonna just go down that same route this week, I think.
I think Gibbs is an interesting choice, but his number has started to get bet up. It is, I think, kind of inflated. So
yeah. What about, is there someone else on the Lions that interests you?
Reynolds, maybe.
Okay.
He's been getting just so many looks. What does a Reynolds receiving come out to? Let's take a look here.
Do they have, what's his receptions at?
Reynolds. Oh, over 2.5 at minus. Let's do that. I think he gets 3 catches today.
You think so?
I do.
He's been
getting so many looks.
2 last week, 5 2 in a row. I think I'm okay with that. I don't hate it.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'll read it one more time. Jameson Williams over 29.5 receiving yards. Debo over 8.5 rushing yards. Kittle anytime touchdown. and then Reynolds over receptions. Plus
I like it.
950.
That feels very doable.
It
Like, I don't
does.
think we did too much with that. It feels very doable.
Of course, like the Debo thing could be scary, but I think he's going to get a few attempts today. They got to get him involved. Even if he is a decoy at times, I mean, I think we'll see plays where he does go in motion and then doesn't get the ball, things like that. But I do think they try to work him into this offense. Unless he's unless he's really hurt, but
Yeah.
I think
You know who I
he's
like too
gonna
is
play.
Jennings.
Jennings has been a
Quite a bit.
reliable receiving guy. I mean, he gets those third downs. Did you
He's
play
very
his over
similar to
receptions?
Watson in that. Like, they're very similar where it's like I think their roles on the teams as far as like their relationship with the quarterback and when they go to them are very similar.
Did you play his over receiving yards or
For
receptions? I mean?
Jennings,
Yeah.
I played his over receiving yards, but now I'm looking and I think I want to take his over receptions too. Because it's 1.5.
Is that at 1.5 or 2?
I'm seeing 1.5.
That seems pretty good.
That's
seems pretty good.
crazy. His last
Damn, that is
5 receptions last game, which again, Debo is part of that. 2 before that. I mean, he either gets like he doesn't get a look or he's getting at least 2 to 5. What's his longest reception actually? Because he's going way over that. 13.5.
I don't know. I don't even know if they.
I'm adding that. That's low.
That's cheeky. A guy we haven't talked about too is Ayuk. I think he could have a big day, but I think with him, I actually might look to play some of his alt numbers. I have to take a deeper dive, but I think he could have like a 100-yard game today. That defense again for the Lions has struggled. Well,
I wonder what that's at because even his receiving yards, like 77.5, is like I think that's a very fair line. His receptions are 4.5. He destroyed 2 of my parlays last week. I'm a little bit upset with him, so it's gonna be hard for me.
Yeah, you're like we're fighting right now.
I have a bad taste in my mouth because of last week.
I hate when that happens. I try to, forget about it, but it still lingers when the guy does you wrong for sure. Okay,
he is really due for a big game. He's due for a big game.
I know. Yeah, let's do this. We got the Williams receiving, Debo rushing, Kittle touchdown, and Reynolds over receptions. Final. I'm locking that in. So that's going to be the second.
Do it.
Second one.
I love it.
All right, and then last few minutes here. Give us your very best bet. One bet for both these games.
Both games. Okay. Let's go with the first game. I really like that Rice under. I'm going to stick with it, I think. It would be between that and Hill. But I like that Rice under. So I'll stick with that. I also like Kelsey's longest. You're like one bet. I'm like, I got it. Kelsey's longest reception I like quite a bit as well. And then in the second game, I like Jameson Williams to go over that longest reception at, I think it's up to 16.5 now, which I would still take it there. I'd probably take it up to 17.
Yeah, I think for me, Jameson Williams receiving yards over 29.5. I just think he has proven himself. He's been getting targets. They're trusting him. I mean, there was a time earlier this season where I didn't know if he would be playing in the playoffs because they brought in Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it kind of pushed him a little bit. And then Peoples-Jones, I think now is like returning kicks. But yeah, Williams, I think he gets like 4-5 targets maybe max, and then gets 2 to 3 catches. And I think the depth of his targets, he's in a good position to hit this. So
I'm with you on that, I think. Yeah, I'm with you. Do you have any first touchdown bets in? Because I have not.
No, I haven't done anything yet.
That sack bet too for the Raven, that D tackle that I can't pronounce his name. I apologize, I can't pronounce it, but I like that bet quite a bit too.
I know. I need to bet that. I got to get that in.
It's a
I'm gonna
good
find it.
number. I wonder what Hutchinson's is at, honestly. I might have to find something to do a first touchdown bet on, though, here.
What about you know what? Like if I were to bet a first touchdown,
Mhm.
I would do Mark Andrews.
Yeah. I don't
Fuck
hate
it.
it.
I think he has a game today, to be honest.
Oh, did they ever put out Dalvin Cook lines? Like
Oh,
a sicko? I've been waiting for them all week. I bet they didn't put anything out. No,
I
they
mean, he could
didn't.
score a touchdown.
Yeah,
So
I bet him to score a touchdown already. But I like the Andrews angle. I think getting him involved early is a good look.
yeah, I think he has to be a part of this offense.
Yeah.
Even though that they have had success, he's too good not to have him out there. So
Yeah. I am with you.
alrighty, I gotta run.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Appreciate you hopping on. I'm looking
Of
forward
course.
to these games. Hopefully one of these SGPs hits. That'd be dope if both of them hit.
Yeah,
Why
we
not?
were
Why
so
not,
close.
right?
We're kind of due, like we're due from the last couple ones that we did because we always miss by one leg, and it's the leg that we feel so
I know.
confident in.
We're
So frustrating.
literally right there. So
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's a good sign. We're close. So we'll get one
yes,
here. So the
yeah.
recap real quick. Basically the best bets, we'll just do that. Rice under 6.5 receptions was your best bet.
Mhm,
And then my
yeah,
best bet was Jameson Williams over 29.5 receiving yards. So
yeah,
best
yeah,
of luck, guys. We'll probably
yeah,
talk to you next week. Next week we have no football, which will be weird, but Super Bowl's right around the corner. Hopefully the
yeah.
Ravens will be playing, and best of luck.
Fingers crossed. All right.
Yes. All right.
Bye,
We'll see
guys.
you later.
Bye.